Hey guys, this is Selene Moon Goddess Tarot with another tarot reading for you all. This is going to be a quick spot check on your love interest, the person maybe you guys have just started dating, or you have been dating for a while, but you sense some vibes are off, or you guys are in a rut right now and you're not talking, and you want to get like a pulse on maybe their heart of hearts feelings for you. All right. I have two decks here. I just realized I didn't put any crystals. Let's choose. We got I want to say this is a rainbow obsidian little turtle. We'll put that one for pile 1. And the pyrite heart for pile 2. Simple enough. All right. This is a more kind of artsy deck. This deck is more goth, I guess, if that's your thing. But either way, they're beautiful decks. So take your time. You can pause this video. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. I do lots of pick a card readings here, and I've got plenty to choose from. So if this one doesn't resonate with you, then you can just go and want to take a cruise through my channel. You can check it out. I do personal readings. If you want to shoot me an email so we can talk about the details of that, go ahead and do that. I'll put it in the description below. I will put timestamps for each pile below as well, so you could just skip through all my shuffling and putting away of cards in between the readings. Some people listen to my readings because my voice sounds great to them. Sometimes they actually just want to get advice, or, you know, they're just being nice and giving me some reads. But if you enjoy the channel, after it's all said and done, hit subscribe, little bell, so you can get notified when I do put readings out. And I'll see you in your reading. So again, this is pile 1, and this is going to be pile 2. See you at your reading. All right, pile 1. Let's get a little pulse and see how things are going with your connection that you have right now, and see how your person is feeling about things, okay? Let's see here. I hope everybody's doing well. Let's see. Pile 1's person. This connection for pile 1. How are things going? How's this person feeling about pile 1 and this connection? Pile 1 and this connection. Alright, we'll start with that right there. If you hear any kids in the background or any weird noises, I've tried so hard to reduce the background on my mic, and I've given up because it's super frustrating. But my kids are in the next room, so it's a little, you might hear some squeals and stuff. So, oh wow, yikes, what's going on here? Okay, pile 1. So this might be a connection where there isn't much communication taking place. So we have the Knight of Wands, the Ten of Swords, the Tower, and the Nine of Swords. So this might be a new connection, or something kind of maybe suddenly has gotten in the way of the connection. Something that's created some anxiety for your person. Maybe some insecurity about whether they want the connection or not, or how to handle going forward with this connection. They do have passion for you. We do have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is a younger passion. It's not a king, but it is kind of like, or it reminds me of the passionate love, like when you first meet someone, having that first kind of infatuation with somebody. But something has stalled. Like this seems like a very straightforward energy here, and this Two of Swords is an energy of pause and contemplation. Usually it's depicted with a girl who is holding 2 swords, but she's blindfolded. So it's almost like either, ignoring red flags perhaps, or seeing red flags that you don't want to take a look at, or that you're afraid that they're red flags. Something's just kind of apprehensive about moving forward. You feel like you're afraid you're going to get hurt. This person might have gotten hurt in the past. I've had connections that were painful, that caused a lot of triggering. And from here on out, they have taken a very intellectual approach when it comes to connections. And I think perhaps if this is a new connection, actually, let me take that back. It feels like this is a connection that has had a lot of stop and go. Okay. So maybe a false start. Maybe you guys are connected in a way that is, you know, I'm thinking like soulmate. I'm thinking your thought patterns are similar when it comes to solving problems and relationships. You guys mirror each other. You clash, where something that isn't triggering for them, it is triggering for you. I don't think that your person has really gone about this connection in the proper way. I think that they came in protecting their heart right from the start. Passionately, but yet cautiously. And something here took place with this tower that tore all of that down. You know, they came in brave, coming in hot and brave, but protecting their heart with the Two of Swords, using intellect. And yeah, something has kind of crumbled all of that down. And now they're feeling vulnerable and wanting to protect themselves. So there might have been a stop of communication here. So let's clarify each card and see what's going on. So let's clarify the Knight of Wands, please, Spirit. Clarify the Knight of... Oops, wrong deck. My goodness. I wonder why I did that one. Well, let's go for it. Let's use it. All right. I usually put my decks here, but let's just... Fuck it. Let's just do it. It's happening this way, so this one wants to come out. Oh my God. So I use this deck, right? This is for pile 2, right? And I'm like, let's just see what comes out. And I fumble, and this card just kind of wants to come out. It is the same exact card as this one. It is the Knight of Wands twice. Interesting. So it's like the universe is doubling down, saying, yeah, there is a lot of passion, a lot of wanting to come in hot from the start. There's been a lot of wanting to come in hot from the start. This is a beautiful card, by the way. All right, so let's clarify then. Interesting. Let's clarify the Two of Swords for this connection for pile 1. Clarify the Two of Swords, sorry. Clarify the Two of Swords, please, for this connection for pile 1. All right, we got the King of Swords. Sorry about my kids. The King of Swords. Interesting. So yes, the Stoic protecting my heart. I'm only going to be thinking about this in an intellectual manner. So again, almost like doubling down on this energy, magnifying this energy is the King of Swords. The King of Swords is a Stoic king. He is a king who he has no problems with making intellectual decisions. He protects his heart. He's learned to protect his heart from heartbreak. Okay, it's not where he's just never felt before. It's that he's been hurt many times, and he is trying to hold back. He doesn't trust it. He does not trust this connection, but yet has this like insane passion, which is interesting, which obviously is a trigger, because for somebody who isn't you know, readily available to give their heart, usually anything that triggers that, or that a situation that calls for that, is going to make them want to, you know, double down on that, right? So like this passion probably scares the shit out of them. They might not have ever felt this kind of passion before in their life. And then you come along and you have flipped some shit upside down for sure. So clarify the Tower for this person in this connection with pile 1. Interesting. So we have the Two of Wands. Interesting. So these are kind of like Similar but not the same energy. So the Two of Swords, swords represent air. They represent intellect, ideas, thoughts, planning, learning, all of those things. Wands are all about passion, about discovery, about creativity, about going forward in new directions, living by the seat of your pants, so to speak, right? And the Two of Wands is a contemplative energy. It's an energy where, your person is taking a step back and figuring out what direction they want to take. And it stopped them in their tracks. So they wanted to come in, they realized this intense energy, they can't deny this intense energy that they have for you. Immediately they want to put up like their Batman, armor here and protect themselves. But something happened here with the Tower that made them take a pause to evaluate the authenticity, evaluate how they feel about this connection and how they feel about you. So they might have gone through life in a very intellectual manner in every direction. So let's say other relationships in the past, maybe they've been painful for them, but they went through those connections in a very like methodical kind of way. Like this person fits my culture. This person fits my social circle. So I'm going to go ahead and go with this person and have a relationship with this person. And and that is a very intellectual way to pursue a relationship, right? If they make decisions about their employment or about their career, it's very, very thought out. Here, with the Two of Wands, it's taking an approach that is more, what drives me? Where do I feel the most passion? So if there is a crossroad, like let's say this person is taking a pause from a connection and you guys connected, and now this person is feeling like, and that could be the Tower, right? Where now this is a new connection and now they're having to contemplate in a way that's different that they've never contemplated before how they want to go and move forward. Because remember, this Tower caused, let me move this out of the way. This Tower caused this immediate, like, feeling vulnerable and naked. This girl is sitting in the corner in the dark, just almost entrapped by her thoughts. So tell me more about the Nine of Swords for pile one's person. Tell me more. See? 2 cards. The Hermit and Justice. There you go. 2 major arcana cards, by the way. So for me, this kind of solidifies that there is a pause in this connection. There is not communication taking place. And this Tower moment and the pausing that they're taking here with trying to decide what direction to go is further confirmed with the Hermit. The Hermit, I love the Hermit particularly. My life path number is 9, and number 9 is the Hermit card in tarot, or I should say in the major arcana. And the Hermit talks about somebody who repeatedly needs to seek enlightenment and understanding. It's so much so that going within and going on their own is the best way for them to learn. It is the way that they get the best insight. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the best insight, the best peaceful way to figure things out. Your person has been kind of shaken up with the status quo, the way they used to do things, the way that the mode of operation from before now has changed because of this Tower. And now, the energy you can even feel is different between this King of Swords and this Hermit. Like, this seems like stale, cold, dead bones, a lack of empathy, determination just for themselves, seeking their own their highest good, even to the detriment of other people. Whereas this is more of like contemplative energy that is kind of alone, right? Not seeking the insight from others, but having that turmoil kind of spin in their own heart, but it producing wisdom for the benefit of not only themselves, but others. What is the wisest what is the wisest outcome for this? What is the best outcome for everyone in this situation? It's more grounded. The background here reminds me of like a humid forest at night, where you can hear drops falling from the trees, where you could feel the damp, twigs break under your feet when you walk. Your nose is cold, but your body's warm. But you're out there just kind of seeking insight, spiritual insight, not insight from your own psyche. This would be seeking insight from your own knowledge, from your own experiences. And if your person has been hurt before, they're going to just only understand this connection as it's going to end up as a painful one, because our ego is there to teach us. Our ego is there to protect us. The self. You put your hand on the stove and ow, I'm not going to do that again. That hurts. When you see a stove again, you're going to be like, that hurts. Avoid that area. Same idea with our relationships and how we move about life. We get hurt, and we're not taught to analyze our pain, really. We're not taught to sit and think about our pain in a objective way where we could say, okay, what happened in this situation? That's kind of like a lot of times what therapy is when people go have therapy with someone, with therapists, is you open the book of whatever the issue is and you pick it apart. And we as people have lost that skill of being able to objectively open up whatever the problem is, this tower moment, and look at it in an objective way. Why did I react this way? Why does what this person did make me feel this way? And once you recognize that it's like, oh, it's because I've always been used to when someone does this, challenges me, maybe you challenged them. Maybe they weren't giving a lot in the connection, and you challenge them. You say, hey, you're holding back. And I know that you're passionate for me because I've seen it, or I feel it, and you're holding back, and now you're challenging them. And they don't like it. It made them pull back. But instead of saying to themselves, now they're sitting with all these swords, why? Now they're saying, why? Why did I do that? Why did I pull back? Why was that my reaction? Oh, well, because I've been hurt before. But the next step to this is, and this we'll walk into this other card with justice, is now what do I do with that? I realized that I reacted this way because I've been hurt a lot in my life. And it's been very hard to move forward from that. And ego causes that reaction, right? But the spirit and your soul wants to teach you from that and say, okay, so maybe there were factors in the past that contributed to why you got hurt. Is it because of how you were raised? Were you never given validation with your emotions? So, were you told that men or women aren't supposed to show their emotions? Where does this lead? And then once you discover that, you're able to walk around that trauma. I remember I saw this video about this woman who, this is a good example actually, right here, who she drew a circle. And actually, this is a very good example. This is a perfect example. Okay, so let's say we're going about life, the inside of this circle. We're going about life. And we're going about life, and now we hit this bump. This is some trauma that happened. Let's say your first love broke up with you. And you told your parent about it. And your parent said, see, that's what you get for being emotional. Ugh. Stab to the heart, right? So now, that's a terrible thing to say, by the way. I hope that hasn't happened to anybody, but let's say it did. And then you go about, you're just devastated, right? You're devastated here. You take a big dip here, and then you just keep going, right? And now we're coming all around the circle again. Other relationships have happened, and you come across somebody that triggers you again, that you're afraid you're going to get your heart broken again. There's a lot of things about the other relationship that are reminding you about this connection right here. Now, you can follow the line of what you've learned, do that bump, and continue on that traumatic path, or you can go above it, learn from it, accommodate, and continue on. And as you do that, just like a knot in wood, you will grow again, right? You're going to recognize the knot. You're going to recognize this time. It's going to be, a time like etched right there. I remember when I got my heart broken. But with this white line, the way you handle it is going to be different because you analyzed it in a way that was objective. You saw the mistake. I was open, and the problem wasn't that I was open. The problem wasn't because I loved hard. The problem was because someone who didn't know how to love told me something that was hurtful at the time that I was the most weak. Right? What the parent said. That is realizing it had nothing to do with your beautiful heart. It had nothing to do with how you loved. Right? And then that's how you grow past that. And then you no longer need to be triggered every single time. It can be recognized, but you understand why things happened the way they did. That's how we can heal and move on. All right? Same thing in relationships, same thing with platonic relationships or anything else. And once we realize that about healing and growing, it doesn't mean we're not going to get triggered again. We're always going to get triggered because that's how we learn. Because like I said, the ego is there to protect us. It's the fail safe that if everything goes to shit and suddenly we don't have a pattern to follow, the ego is there to protect us by our experiences that we've had in the past, even the bad experiences. So if we understand that, the only reason why I feel this way every time someone says that particular thing to me is because of this happened. The ego is reminding you, remember when that happened? Remember how hurt you are? But your soul teaches you and says, yeah, but you remember why that happened? Yes. So probably not going to happen again. You weren't the problem in that situation. Okay. And then you're able to move forward and go around again and not be triggered. Okay? So hopefully I didn't beat the dead horse about that, but that brings us into justice. So justice is an energy that wants to seek balance. It reminds me of karma, but not in the way that, tit for tat energy that, because it is kind of true, the energy you put out is the energy that you get back in different ways. But this is an energy that is soft, kind, but strong and true about wanting to bring justice back to this. So it's a realization that through this, your person has realized that you deserve justice here. Because while they're going through this healing process and being triggered, I don't see cups here. I don't see love that they've given you. I see a lot of internal struggle, and I don't see external validation of what they feel towards you. So let's ask Spirit, what are the feelings here that pile one's person has? What's inside? Because this is the inside of their battle. What do they feel about pile one as a person? There we go. The Ace of Cups. Goodness, look at that card. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck, of course. I love Day of the Dead. It reminds me of that. But the Ace of Cups is the what's a good way to describe it? It's one of the best cards, I'd say. There are a lot of great cards in tarot that, express love, but I think the Ace of Cups for me is like you live in this person's heart. Okay? You live in this person's heart in a deep way, in a way that is not tied to social standards, that's not tied to stages in a relationship, okay? It is tied to just simple, pure love. Like when you look at this card, the way this person is grabbing their chest and their eyes are closed. The sun is setting in the background. Everything seems so rich and deep. Tell us more about the emotions that Pile 1's person has for them. Tell us more about the emotions that Pile 1's person has for them. Oh, 5 of Cups. They're afraid that you're going to leave them behind. They feel left out in the cold. Either they've put themselves upon their own accord, or they feel like when you set this boundary, you definitely triggered abandonment. And there's 2 types of ways you can respond to abandonment. Some people are like, I'm going to leave you before you leave me because I'm afraid you're going to leave me. Abandonment. Or I'm going to attach onto you like a leech and not let you go and smother you to death because I'm afraid you're going to leave me. So either way, however, somehow they feel left in the cold. But the number 5 is also about changes. All right. And the number 5 is an interesting number. And every time I see it like on a clock or something and it's like 555, I always get a little nervous about that because that means that some kind of, tower moment I feel like is going to happen. Something to either break down maybe how I saw someone or how I feel about a situation in order to rebuild a new outlook in that situation. So that could be really what's actually actively happening in their heart space about you. One more card about how their emotions are towards Pile 1. Page of Wands. All right. So the Page of Wands is again, they're sad. They're depressed. It is a decline in passion. It's a even more younger than the Knight of Wands. So your person's afraid that you're going to leave them. And they want justice. I think that they might be at a point where they feel stuck. Like, okay, I got this insight. I'm realizing this about this person. I'm realizing I'm in love with this person. But now I'm stuck. I don't even know where to go. I don't know where to go next. Which confirms the, stalemate thought that I had earlier. So let's get some message cards. I have 2 decks. I have Twin Flame Love Note and I have the Love Oracle. So let's get some of that and let's see if we can get some inner thoughts of your person. Okay? Let's see Pile 1. What are the thoughts of Pile 1's person? Messages for Pile 1's person. From Pile 1's person. Messages. Wow. Messages for Pile 1's person. Okay, that one came out too. Oop! Whoa. A bunch of them came out. Hold on one second. Sorry, you can see my hair. I look tore up from the floor up, like I used to say. When I was a teenager, I used to say that all the time. Tore up? What we used to say? We used to say, tore up from the floor up, or messed up from the neck up. I don't know. Don't mind me. But let's just take these cards that fell, because I think they might be important here. So the first one that came out is, I am done pretending. which does speak out to this justice, right? The realization with the Hermit. The second card is, I wish I can hold you tonight. The first thing I think of with that one is that perhaps, this person's love language is physical touch. And there might be distance, perhaps here, where they feel like they can't come to you to show you exactly how they feel. Or they can't, or there's barriers there, like how in the hell can that even happen? And feeling helpless in some kind of way. My right ear is ringing. That means something to somebody. I want more, but I am scared. What did I tell you? That makes me feel like this really goes with the Page of Wands. I want more, but I'm scared. I want more. The love is there. The Ace of Cups is there. But I'm scared. I still think about you. I mean, you're on this person's mind. I mean, to have 2 Knight of Wands is really powerful. I could lose myself in you. And that, I feel like, ties into that prior trauma, like I were talking about with the ego of like, this person, when they fall in love, they fall hard. They fall really hard. And they've learned over life, over their experiences, that doesn't bring anything good. That brings pain. That brings rejection. That brings abandonment. But this also confirms how much they actually do hold for you. They hold a lot of emotion for you, a lot of love. And it's almost like, for me, maybe I'm channeling you, where you feel so frustrated that, well, I could lose myself in you too. Like, why can't we just trust each other and agree that maybe a lot of the details, like with the Nine of Swords, maybe there's a lot of stuff in the way, a lot of details, maybe they are in the way, but maybe just recognition can be the beginning of something healthy, pure, and honest. And everything will kind of work itself out after that, But acknowledging the spirit and the heart is important. When there isn't, harmony between the heart and the mind and the soul, action can't be taken no matter what the subject matter is. There needs to be harmony there. And when there isn't harmony and things are done in a way that is off the cuff, like maybe your tower or whatever you told them, maybe that was off the cuff. Maybe you regret it. That's a whole nother reading, right? But whatever the case may be, it's definitely been earth-shaking for this person, and they're feeling it. Maybe there could have been more tact, but I think I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. Sometimes these kind of conversations have to happen in order for people to shake off the dust and look exactly at what they have. And a lot of times when you're stuck in your mind, that dust, it just doesn't let you see things clearly. You got to wipe the dust off the pages to see the words and the letters clearly. I don't want to be the reason you cry. Okay, so there's fear that they're going to break your heart. Or they've already broken your heart. So this is like a denial almost. Like, I don't want to be the reason why you cry. They might have already made you cry. You're probably thinking, honey, we're past that. We're past that. We're at the point where, like, let's sit down then. Let's just talk, kind of thing, right? Hoping and wishing, and I don't, and I don't, and I don't. It's like all these swords, just keeping them paralyzed. So they also say, somehow I trust you. And I think that's where the willingness of the Two of Wands to stop and look and see, okay, what really matters here? Do I really have these real feelings for pile 1? That's what they've realized. I do trust you. I know you won't hurt me, but they're stuck in their trauma, They're stuck right here, not wanting to move forward over this blue line. Just stuck thinking that it's going to turn out the same way as it did before. And the last one is, I want you to enjoy your life. This, to me, feels very much like, woe is me. After all this, you're just going to say, I want you to enjoy your life? It feels very, very much like, oh, I wish you the best, take care kind of thing, when we all know the truth. So this is falling on deaf ears, I think. And maybe this is where it feels comfortable to say the separation, but it's like this kind of woe is me type energy, right, of the Page of Wands. You're not going to love me even if you knew who I really was. Even if I told you who I really was, you're not going to love me. It's believing the lies, believing the ego, right? Instead of blazing a new trail for themselves. So I could just stay here and analyze this all night long, but we're not going to do that. I am going to go ahead and let you go. I got to go to pile 2. But if you enjoyed this, you want more of this, or you want a personal reading, check out my channel. Email me for details on personal readings. I do have a website. I got to change my prices. I think they're a little too pricey, to be honest with you. But so that's why I'm like, just email me if you're interested in a personal focused reading, and we can go from there. But thank you so much for coming by, and oh, please hit subscribe and like and comment if you have even a suggestion on another kind of reading that you want to see done. Okay? All right. You take care. Bye. Oh, I didn't use the other one. Oh, well. I guess it's for a reason, I suppose. Them kids, let me tell you, all out in the background. Okay, so that's funny how that happened. So we'll do the opposite then. Okay. Pile 2. So something funny happened with pile 1. I started off using their deck to get kind of the baseline energy, and I grabbed the opposite deck and finished the reading with clarification. So I think I'm going to do the same for you. Let me shuffle these really quick, because that's, first of all, something I've never done without intention, right? It was just I grabbed the deck and started using it and realized it wasn't your deck that you chose. So we're going to do the same thing here, because we're just going to follow the vibes, All right, let's get a pulse on what's going on with your connection. Okay, pile 2. What is going on in this connection? Pile 2's person. Pile 2's person, please. What's going on in this connection? How are they feeling? Pile 2's person. Okay. So this card, I know it's a special, it's a card that they created for this deck, so I don't know the meaning of it, so I'm going to have to take a look at that one. By the way, if you're interested, this deck is called Tarot of the Shadow Realms. You can tell I've used it because it's all worn out a little bit there, but yeah. Insights from the Shadow Realms, sorry. So let me see. Okay, so this card is called Apotheosis. 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 It's a beautiful card, isn't it? So, this card means ascending into the light, the transcendence beyond the material world. It embodies the ultimate realization of one's potential and the culmination of personal evolution. This card signifies a moment of complete transformation and spiritual elevation. being on the brink of achieving a higher state of consciousness where your true self aligns with your higher purpose. Your inner power and wisdom are here and alive. Recognize your divine potential and unique gifts while acknowledging the light within. You are more powerful and capable than you realize. Okay, so clearly I'm going to say that you have really impacted your person. So you might be somebody who is a light worker, or somebody who is really, that you like the occult, you like esoteric things, you are interested in spirituality, you're always seeking to grow and to learn and expand your mind and expand your heart, expand your soul. And you've really activated their heart space in a big way, in a way that is multidimensional. So not just like, oh, I'm in love with this person, they're just so amazing because they're so cute and they're so kind and they're so nice. That seems like more 3D reasons why somebody would maybe have a crush on someone. But you have activated something where they're like, holy hell, I have never met someone like this before. This person is powerful. This person Pile 2 has a spiritual purpose on this planet, and I feel like I've been ignited to do the same. So not only have they fallen for you, but they definitely are feeling like they are following your lead in a lot of ways in how you go about your life and how you go about your spirituality and learning and all of that. Then we're following up with that with the Two of Cups. So perhaps they are seeking equality with you. Maybe they feel like you have, elevated so far, and they maybe feel like they are not aligned with you quite that way, but they want to be, they want to fill your cup. The Two of Cups is about, reciprocal love, reciprocal partnership, give and take equally on both ends. And that does it. And, if we're going based on the energy of this card, it's not just in a romantic way, but it's also in an intellectual way and a deep way, a philosophical way, all of the ways. We have the Sun. Geez, what did you do to this person? Pile 2, what did you do to them? Interesting. Okay, so we have the Page of Wands after that, which is interesting because it almost seems like a decrease or a decline in passion and energy. Like we're starting off with this fiery stuff here. The Sun. The Sun is a major arcana card, and it is the embodiment of wish fulfillment. You see the castle in the background and the sun, and I'm surprised that they didn't put coins all over the bottom of where this dragon is. It's just like everything that this person wished that they could find in a person, they have found in you. And this connection. Maybe you make them feel like a little child. Maybe they feel like they are at a place where they just don't know enough. They feel like they don't know enough. Or maybe they have fears about not being as... Can they run the marathon with you? Will they be able to keep up with you? So there's some insecurity there. We have the Queen of Swords. Did you see that vibrate? Or not vibrate, but it moved by itself, my little tree. Interesting. Okay. I'm not sure if that means something here. Hold on. Okay, so this relationship, I think, Pile 2, I wonder if this is a connection that is not, that's not been vocalized. Where this person, wants to come to you and tell you how they feel, but I think, because look at the Ace of Swords. You know, the Ace of Swords is supposed to be all about epiphany and inspiration and realization. And it usually is in a positive way. This deck definitely is not showing it in a positive way. I'm wondering if there's a third party here too. Those are two things that are coming to mind. So either they feel like you maybe present yourself as a very, very intimidating person. This is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords has seen a lot of stuff. She's a queen who sometimes she's depicted as somebody who is a widow. She has gotten her heart broken and has suffered a lot. And there's some apprehension here. I think they realize this about you. Maybe they feel like they've hurt you in some kind of way. So let's get clarification. All right. And I'm going to do like I did with pile 1. We're going to use the deck for pile 1 to clarify all of these. Okay. Okay. Poppy Go Princess, can you please clarify pile 2's person? Let's see, that was me. Pile 2's person. Clarify. All right. That's a lot though, Spirit. I want to clarify this card. Can we clarify that, please? Please clarify this card, please. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. So, interesting. All right. Now my left ear is ringing. Okay. That's significant for somebody. I haven't learned yet what... I know that on the left side, for me, it is like downloads from the universe kind of come through. Like I end up having very vivid dreams that following day or in the next coming days. My right side feels like it is, when my right ear rings, it is more of like a gut intuition that's actively, a thought that I'm actively having. That's interesting. Okay. Pile 2, please. I mean, 2 of Cups. Clarify the 2 of Cups. Can you clarify the 2 of Cups, please, on your person? Clarify the 2 of Cups, please. Okay. Oh, wow. Here we go. So we have counterparts here. So you guys might be some type of soulmates. So soulmates, twin flames, they have lots of titles. But basically, if you're somebody who believes in reincarnation or believes that, you know, we have some type of, we play a role in our life as far as like our spirit when it died before and get reincarnated, that we get a choice to come back and suffer again to try to learn those lessons for the greater good of all involved or not. And sometimes that includes soul contracts that you have with somebody where you're like, in one lifetime, things were terrible and horrible, and you want a chance to, the opportunity, let's just say the opportunity to heal that. Sometimes you agree to go back to a place where there is a chance where you will meet that particular person again. And hopefully not relive karma, or not relive it, but to heal whatever was lost there. So we do have that. And that was to clarify the 2 of Cups. We also got the Chariot. So there's a lot of bravery here. With the Knight of Pentacles is grounded energy. It is energy that is, you know, if you're going to have one of the knights, this is a good knight to have. He's very trustworthy, but he's also somebody who's slow. Very slow, methodical, needs to think things through, but trustworthy. I think with the 2 of Cups, they want to rush in and be courageous. I'm wondering why they're being held back. You have the 2 of Cups again. Confirmation. Yeah. Look at that. That happened in the other reading where we had 2 Knight of Wands. So there's some kind of uphill battle they feel like they're going to have in order to meet you here. I think they feel a little bit behind on the ball with meeting you there. You clearly are their son. They are in love with you. You're not the problem here at all. I think that they wonder whether they are going to fail to meet your expectations. I think they feel that you're counterparts. They love your intellect. They are probably an intellectual person. You both might be people who don't really fall in love unless you have a connection to someone's mind or a respect for somebody's intellect. Or part of what makes someone attractive is their intellect. And then we have the Empress. Yeah, I mean, they want to grow with you. So remember when I was telling you how this Two of Cups is not as simple as just, oh, they love you and you love them and they want it to be equal. It's a complex connection in that they want to meet you at your bravery. They want to meet you reiterating again with another Two of Cups. They want to reciprocate. They want to come back equally back to you with that energy. You know, this card reminds me of yin and yang as well. Being balanced with masculine and feminine energy. And the Empress, she embodies all 4 queens. She's fruitful and kind and loving and giving, and is able to, you know, create out of nothing, out of thin air. They see so much beauty in you. And they want to embody that. They want to match your energy in a big way. So let's clarify the Sun. I mean, the Sun almost doesn't need clarification, but could you clarify the Sun for pile 2's person? Ace of Wands. Yep, they're totally passionate for you. Absolutely passionate for you. And the Hierophant. Okay, that's another major arcana card. And the Hierophant talks about institutions, marriage, business, schooling, work. You know, you guys might work together. Or they feel like you embody not just these beautiful lovey-dovey things here, but also you guys actually might both share the same passion. Maybe you both work maybe you're both in the medical field, or you're both in business, or you're both in computers or sciences or something like that, where you both share a big passion, and that's a huge turn on, like a huge thing for them, that you guys meet each other already in that way. And it could be as simple as they also want to marry you. They feel like you would be someone that they want to share their life with. Walk this journey with. Clarify the Page of Wands, please. I don't want to say anything else. They're like, we don't need to say, that's about it. That's all you need. Let's see. Let's take this one. And let's take this one. Let's take this one. Those are the 3 that were sticking out. Let's see what we get here. Wow. The 9 of Swords. Is that, remember when I said that there's kind of like a change in this energy, like a decline in this energy? All this like powerful force, love force here, and then we drop down to the Page of Wands. So there is worry about maybe not meeting your expectations, or whatever those expectations are. And probably expectations they're putting on themselves, honestly. And then for the Ace of Swords, these 2 cards came out in pile 1. So I'm not sure if these are, you know, counterpart readings. Like maybe your pile is pile 1, their pile is this pile, or vice versa. I think the anguish that is seen here in this card for the Ace of Swords is kind of broken open a little bit with the Two of Swords. I think that there is some guarding there, even though they have this intense, powerful truth that they know about this connection. They still are afraid and feeling reserved. Aww. I love this card. Okay, so underneath the King and Queen of Swords, I think the bottom line is kind of really displayed here in this art. You know, this person seems like he's gone into this room that's a secret room. And he's like admiring this statue. Almost like I wonder if this connection is a secret. But the Eight of Pentacles is kind of like, you know, when you're done, let's say, creating something, and maybe he's a sculptor, right? He doesn't have any tools in his hand, so I'm not sure if he's a sculptor or not, but he's admiring the work that's been completed, taking a look at the art and just simply in awe of it. And you really are, I think, that work of art for this person. But they're wanting, this is what they're looking forward to. When it all is said and done, they want to be able to sit back and look at all the work that has gone towards this and revel in it. That though there are these hesitations and though that there's these concerns and insecurities that this person has, which everyone has, by the way, this isn't terrible. It means that your person has been through a lot, has seen a lot. But they're willing to kind of figure things out, I think, especially with the Empress being here. They understand the level of commitment and the level of decadence that this relationship is. Feels decadent. It feels like whoever you are, Pile 2, you are a decadent, rich human being with a lot to give and a lot to share with others. And they feel very, very honored to even be in your space. And sometimes those insecurities do come up. And I think that, you know, I'm wondering, since you got the King of Swords, if your person has not shared this with you, and maybe that's why you're here at this reading. Maybe they keep it kind of on the DL about how deep these feelings are and how profoundly powerful these feelings are. Maybe they just show you the Two of Cup energy, but inside they have this apotheos, they have the Sun, they have the Ace of Wands and the Hierophant and the Empress, wanting to be consistent and loving with you with the Knight of Pentacles. So let's see what little messages we have from your person here. What are some thoughts and messages from Pile 2's person to Pile 2 about this connection, Spirit? What are some thoughts from Pile 2's person? Pile 2. Actually, you know what? I used that for Pile 1 and I forgot to use this Twin Flame Love Notes. And since we have the counterparts there, let's do that. Now, this little deck is salt and peppered with some sad notes and some good ones. So we'll see what we get. What are some messages from Pile 2's person? Messages from Pile 2's person to Pile 2. Do you love me the way I love you? All right. So definitely they're feeling a difference. They're wondering, like with that Page of Wands, do you love me the way I love you? This person, Pile 2, your person's all over here exploding. All exploding. And then it kind of like dissipates here. Interesting how the energy flows with the cards. Do you miss me the way I miss you? So there's some insecurity. There might be some distance. I'm not sure. I think it's not distance. I think it's poor communication or or just not enough vulnerability taking place in the conversations that you guys are having about this connection. I want to fall asleep next to you. So romantic. Super romantic. Put that by the Two of Cups. I can't. Not right now. All right. So Now, whether you guys do work together or not, or they hold a lot of responsibility with work, or this is that insecurity of like, perhaps you've asked them to be more vulnerable, or there's apprehension around being vulnerable. I'm going to put that over here with the Two of Swords. It's like, I can't, not right now. I can't. It is this unsaid thing, this knowing that hasn't been communicated that they're holding back from you. What are more messages for pile 2's person? Pile 2. You have to be patient. Wow. Okay. So either you have been really wanting them to be open about how they feel. I'm not sure what this is about. Like, why wait? I don't know. Maybe they do work. Maybe they're in the middle of, it is over here in North America, it is in the middle of the December holiday season. That could be something just really practical. Not anything to do with how they feel about you, as to why there's patience that needs to be taken here. Let's get a couple more cards for their messages, please. Please, a couple more message cards for pile 2's person. A couple messages, please, for pile 2's person. There we go. All right. My beloved. So they definitely love you and hold you. And my beloved, like when I hear that, I feel like it's such an old term, kind of like old-fashioned term to describe someone that you're in love with. It's almost like my beloved, like it's almost like I not only love you, but I hold you, your whole soul. I hold you here in my heart, you know? That's what my beloved feels like to me anyway. And the last one we have is, I wish we could be together, but it's complicated. Okay, well, there we go. That's confirmation. Oh, and it's not the last one. Don't pressure me. Good Lord. Okay, I don't know what you did. I told you there were some, like, you know, some serious cards in this deck, too. Ouch. That hurts. I wish we could be together, but it's complicated. Interesting. So it does kind of feel like there is this is like a contract type of connection where there's stop and go, there is sometimes communication, or it's one-sided communication. I don't want to leave you like that, though. Oh. Don't want to leave you like that, pile 2. Let me see if I have any other message cards I can use here. Huh. All right, let's try this. I don't, oh yeah, let's do this. No, let's do this one. Sorry. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. That's terrible. Let's do it like that so you can actually see some of the cards. Okay. This deck, we'll see what we get, because I have never really used this deck in a reading, but it's called Beyond the Self Oracle. So let's see. What advice do you have for pile 2 in this situation? Because it seems like pile 2's person is putting the brakes on this situation, or is being stoic here, like the King of Swords. I can't right now. Don't pressure me. I wish we could be together, but it's complicated. You have to be patient. This energy feels very protective to me. It feels like your person is trying to, they have all of this under the sheets, all this love for you, and yet all this is what you're seeing on the outside. So what advice do you have for pile 2, please, Spirit? What advice do you have for pile 2, please, Spirit? Any more advice? Any more advice for pile 2, please, Spirit? Well, I guess that's it. Okay. Interesting. It says, A little bit of faith goes a long way. Remember that. So, all right, a little fist in the air there. I think that really, honestly, for you, I would say to focus on yourself. Number one, love yourself, focus on yourself. Whatever's left over, if you have any energy left over after you've loved yourself that you feel like you want to impart for this person, I feel like to give it at that time. And I think that a little faith goes a long way. I think remembering that this person, baseline, this person does love you. And this might be early. I don't know if this is the first big bump that you guys have had. There might be many more, right? I mean, we all have different triggers, different things that make us, maybe the lack of communication triggers you, and the fact that you want to communicate triggers them. And you guys are just like bumping heads, you know? It doesn't mean that you guys are not counterparts. It means that you guys are leaning into traumatized areas in your heart and not analyzing it in a way that is objective. Your guys are analyzing it in ways where you're trying to protect yourself and not get hurt. And that's where this happens. I don't agree with this, but that's my opinion, right? I mean, I feel like telling someone you have to be patient is a selfish thing to say. You know, but I didn't write these cards, right? Saying something to the effect of, I'd be grateful for some patience, or I need help in this kind of way, where it's a more collaborative, like, I need help and patience from you because this is difficult for me. That's a way where you can ask for patience and still be vulnerable at the same time, right? Not just stonewalling someone and saying you have to be patient, because you're placing that all of your the gravity of the situation, you're placing it square on the head of of pile 2, and that's not fair for pile 2, right? For you. Don't pressure me. Again, it's that kind of like dismissal of your feelings, dismissal of your emotions. Don't pressure me. That's them acting in their ego. It's what it feels like to me. Instead of saying don't pressure me, they could be saying something to the effect of, when you brought this up, I didn't know really what to do other than want to run in the other direction. When someone feels pressure, when they feel like they don't know what to do, so they leave. Some people are confrontational, but usually people kind of run away, I can't right now. Again, shutting off, shutting pile 2 out. So your person has some growing to do, I think, in communication, for sure. The love is there, the passion is there, the inspiration is there, the counterpart situation is there, but I think that emotionally, because we do, like I said, we do have the King of Swords, which is a stoic king. He's not a king that is in touch with his emotions. And you've inspired this person to do that discovery, to really figure out who they are. But maybe they're lacking the tools, and the fact that they're not working with you. I mean, if you are this higher being, right, that they believe you to be, then they should be wanting to collaborate with you and work with you to grow, work with you to figure out how they can overcome what's happening here, instead of pushing you away. You actually can be, a great help to them if there was more humility. And I think your person might be lacking that right now. Doesn't mean it's that they want to work on it, though. It's not like they're not open to it, but figuring out how to just like get outside of themselves and just put their pride aside and say, listen, I'm in love with you. You know things that I don't know. You've grown in ways I've never known how to grow. Can we be in love and you also teach me to? Like, can we just work out this journey, this path, this life that we get, this little blink of life that we get to have on this planet for these little amount of years? Can we walk together through it and learn and enjoy each other and be in love at the same time? I mean, I think that's possible. people don't talk about relationships in that manner, but when we come down, when it gets broken down, yeah, relationships are like that. They require that. But it takes, two to tango. But, I appreciate your patience with this person, pile 2. And again, I just want to encourage you to just love yourself. If you have energy left over to give this person, do that. But don't take this person's triggered moments personally. Don't make it about you, that you're being rejected. I think that they are rejecting love because they don't feel worthy. They don't feel worthy of you because you are a very well-rounded, decadent human that is spiritual, and you have gifts that you are able to impart to many people. You have a deep capacity to love, and they feel in that they don't feel that they match up. They want to, and all it takes is desire, right? But they have to believe it, right? They have to believe that that's a possibility. Think outside the box. That, the traditional idea of what relationships are these days pales in comparison to what is waiting for both of you once your person can really get in touch with that heart and be vulnerable and honest. So yes, be patient, but also love yourself, and don't disrespect yourself by giving when you haven't given to yourself, right? Don't abandon yourself for this person. That will leave you empty, and that will leave you being tempted to just not love yourself and blame yourself for this person's triggers. Okay? So that's not a healthy place to be either. So thank you so much for stopping by for this reading, and I hope that it helped you. I hope that it brought insight, and that's why I do these readings. And if you are interested in a personal reading, email me for information, and happy to get that to you. And if you subscribe, that would be fantastic. It grows my channel and makes these readings more available for other people in the algorithm. If you have suggestions for subjects for other readings, please put it in the comments, okay? Thank you so much, and until next time, bye.